Go ahead and start.
All right, you're good to go.
David, anytime you want to call it to order, we can go from there.
All right, it's looks like it's 5:34, so having a quorum, move that we call the meeting to order and begin our business.
Ready. And the first item of business is for me to read the online meeting preamble, which I'll do in just a moment. I apologize. I've got a cold today, so my voice isn't the best, but appreciate your patience. So I'll do that, and then I'll call the roll, and each person can say they're present and just give their general location. Don't need an address or that long or anything, but just say my home in Albemarle County or something like that, and go from there. Alrighty, so preamble for the advisory committee meeting. Because of the continuation of the COVID-19 pandemic and the limitations on group gatherings imposed by the governor's executive orders, this meeting is being held by electronic communication means on the Zoom platform. It is authorized by the county's continuity of government ordinance and the Virginia statute signed into law on April 24th, permitting this committee to meet electronically to discuss and transact business necessary to continue its operations. The public has real-time audio-visual access to this meeting over Zoom and real-time audio access over telephone, both as provided in the lawfully posted meeting notice. Everyone on the phone and attending via Zoom from the public is in a listen-only mode. This meeting is being recorded and will be made available on the county's website. Alrighty, so let me run down, before I run down the list, I just want to let everyone know, I'm just to welcome Lee Kirchner, who was recently appointed by the board to the committee. And so we thank Lee for volunteering to serve and fill the committee's empty slot. Thank you for coming. Thank you for signing up.
Welcome.
Yeah, welcome. Thank you. So I will just run down the list of names here, and everybody who's here, please just say here or present and let me know where you are, and we'll get this finished off. So Ron Goldberg.
Here, Charlottesville, Albemarle County.
Peter Lynch.
Present, my home in Albemarle County.
Bruce Vilk. I don't think Bruce is here. Ms. Malik.
Present on the farm in Albemarle. Thank you.
Ben Bear.
Present from my home in Albemarle County.
Thank you. David Powell.
I am present from my home here in Albemarle County.
Tim Keller. Tim, are you there?
I'm muted.
I'm present in my home in lovely Simeon, Albemarle County.
Lovely. Esther Volkan. I don't believe Esther could make it today. That sounds good. Liz Sutphen. Liz, are you still there?
Yes, from my home in Orlando, Virginia. Thank you.
Great, thank you. And Lee Kirchner.
Present at my home in Greenwood, Albemarle County.
Yep, thank you. All right, thank you all. And let me share my screen and we can see the agenda. And the first item is the approval of the minutes. And I failed to tell you which set of minutes that was. It was the March 16th minutes.
If there are no corrections that anyone has, I move adoption.
I'll second that.
Okay, I'm afraid we will need to do a roll call vote just because it's very difficult for us to follow a simultaneous voice vote on a single audio channel in here. So I'll just run back down the list. Motion was in favor of adopting the minutes of the previous meeting. Mr. Powell,
Aye.
Mr. Goldberg,
Aye.
Mr. Lynch,
Aye.
Ms. Malik,
Yes,
Mr. Keller,
Aye.
Mr. Bear,
Yay.
Ms. Kirchner,
Aye.
and Ms. Sutphen.
Aye.
Thank you very much. I apologize. I know that's a little tedious, but it's the only way we can get accurate vote counts on this platform. David, if you're ready, I will, with your permission, continue into the discussion items for tonight's agenda.
Absolutely. Since we approved the minutes, I see on the agenda, our next item is the Henley Sugar Hollow Edition. Would you like to present the staff report, please?
And I've made these presentations very brief. I can refer back to the written staff reports if you all need them, but I figured most of these were fairly straightforward and it was everybody's best interest to be brief. So the Henley edition, AFD 2101, this is a proposed addition to the Sugar Hollow District. You can see the location, the existing districts in green, and the red outline shows the proposed addition. This is a 19.1 acre parcel with 18.6 acres of important soils, and it does have 5 development rights. This is a qualified and valuable addition to the district. Staff would recommend, the committee recommend approval of the proposed addition. And I'll be happy to answer any questions you have.
Does anyone have any questions for Scott or staff regarding this proposed addition? If not, I'll entertain a motion to proceed.
I move that we adopt this addition to the Sugar Hollow Ag Forestal District.
I second that. This is Pete.
Yep, thank you, Pete.
All right, thank you. So we have a motion to adopt and a second. Is there any discussion before we move on? Hearing none, I'll call the vote. Scott, will you read the roll call vote, please?
I will, thank you. Mr. Powell,
Aye.
Mr. Goldberg,
Aye.
Mr. Keller,
Aye.
Mr. Bear,
Yes.
Ms. Kirchner,
Aye.
Ms. Sutphen,
Aye.
Mr. Lynch,
Aye.
and Ms. Malik.
Yes,
Thank you all.
Thank you. Well, next on our agenda, it appears to be the Neff Mormons River Edition. Again, Scott, if y'all would like to present staff report.
Alrighty, so as you can see by the scale of this map, the Mormons River District is by far our largest. It covers a very large area in the area east of Whitehall and south of Free Union. The NIF property that's proposed for addition is shown in red. And there are 3 parcels altogether here that have 111.22 acres of important soils. Each individual parcel has between 2 and 5 development rights. So this is again, a qualified and a highly worthwhile addition to the Mormons River District. Staff would recommend approval. And again, I can answer any questions you have.
Thank you, Scott. Any questions for Scott regarding these proposed additions? Again,
Just to clarify, this is one addition of multiple parcels under the same ownership.
Okay, thank you. I'll entertain a motion to proceed.
Right here, I move to recommend approval of the proposed addition.
I second that.
Who seconded there? Sorry.
I
Ben,
did, Ben.
Thank you. Okay. I just heard static. Sorry about that. All right. Down the list again. Ms. Sutphen,
Aye.
Ms. Kirchner,
Aye.
let's see, Mr. Keller,
Aye.
Mr. Lynch,
Aye.
Ms. Malik,
yes,
Mr. Powell,
Aye.
let's see here, Mr. Bear,
Yes.
and Mr. Goldberg.
Yes.
Thank you all.
Wonderful, thank you. We're moving right through our agenda. Continuing on, the Maddox Jacobs Run addition. If we could hit Scott, the staff report, please, Scott.
Thank you. Parcel to be added here is parcel 18-16C, 69 acres, 51 of which are important soils designated in the comp plan. It does have one development right, which means it's a qualified applicant. One thing I wanted to point out here, some of you may have noticed that this parcel is a bit of an outlier from the rest of the Jacobs Run district. However, it is qualified by nature of the fact that it's less than a mile up from a core parcel that originally formed the district, even though that core parcel isn't in the district anymore. That's just kind of an oddity of the state law that governs these things. Even if that wasn't the case, the committee now has the ability to recommend in favor of parcels that are more than a mile from the core of the district based on agricultural importance. That's not necessary in this case. So staff recommends approval of the proposed addition. And again, I can take your questions.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just, since this is kind of hypothetical at this point, is there a reason? I mean, it seems to me that it doesn't matter, or at least it doesn't matter to me, if it's geographically close to that center or not.
I think a lot of people in the General Assembly had basically the same feeling, and that was why they added that exception.
Okay.
The original rule was that you had to be within a mile of the core. The core is defined as that set of parcels that originally started the district.
Right.
Now, again, the oddity there is that those parcels don't have to stay in the district, which I don't think anybody foresaw when they first wrote the law. But
Right.
several years back, when they cleaned up a bunch of other items in the enabling legislation that made these items really difficult and time consuming, more so than necessary, they also added that out from parcels, four parcels that are more than a mile from the core to be added to a given district based on their importance, which we've done once or twice in the past. Again, that's not really necessary here, but that was just some more flexibility when there was justification for it.
Okay. And thank you for that, Scott.
Sure.
And then in the development rights, that's one small lot development right, right? They could actually subdivide, they could have subdivided if they stayed outside the district, because they have 51 or they have 69 acres. So they could be multiple parcels.
And in fact, they can still use those 21 acre divisions while they're in the districts because the way our code is written.
Okay.
But yeah, it's the small development right lots that are actually controlled by the Ag 4 ordinance. So with our recent policy about only wanting to accept parcels that have that kind of development potential, this one does meet that criterion.
Is it improved? I haven't looked it up. I mean, is there already a house on it?
If I remember correctly, there is. I don't have that map right in front of me, but I can pull it up if we need to.
I'll bring it up real quick.
While you're looking up a map, I'd like to know
There
where
is, yeah.
the access is. I didn't have time to look it up either. Is it to access to Allen Road or to the back of Hickory Ridge? To Pelham?
Hold on just a moment.
The report
There is-
says that it has one dwelling.
Yeah, it does have a house on it.
After I said I didn't know, then I remembered that. Pull up the map so I can answer Ms. Malik's question.
Okay.
That was all of my questions. Thank you, Scott.
Sure. All right, I'm gonna have to stop sharing and then reshare to a different window.
Oh, sorry, I should have done this on my own.
No, I normally I would put a lot more pictures in the presentation, but I was just trying to keep things brief. So it looks like there is, this is Allen Road at the top up here.
No access anywhere.
Oops, there's the house.
Okay, so,
And let me just grab the right tool, I believe. Oh, there it is. Yeah, it's a driveway coming down from Allen across a couple of other parcels.
Yeah.
So they've got an existing easement there. Comes up across the edge of 18B, and 16C is our parcel. And there's the house.
okay. Because that's right at the split where the large parcel on the left, where it's a private road for that one on the left that you can just see. All right. And, oh, there are a whole lot of little structures on there that I can see now. All right. So we have had occasion to discuss family divisions on these properties that therefore then wipes out their development right. So what are we doing to forestall that from happening? It piqued my interest when Peter asked his, or said his statement about there being 21-acre divisions allowed. So how do we prevent people from getting themselves into that kind of a trap?
I'm not sure that legally we can prevent it. I suppose it's possible that if someone, if we saw a subdivision come through, I would be alerted of it because it's in the district. If we saw that they were using their last development right as a family division, we could just let them know you're legally free to do this, but it might mean that the remainder of your property would be removed from the district at the next review. That would be up to the board to decide if they wanted to do that. I'm not sure that we've had one of those come up anytime recently.
Right. But from fairness sake, I really like that approach that you warn people before they do the subdivision, because that's, otherwise it's sort of like a bait and switch type thing. And people are, I think, resentful when they think they followed the rules of the time and then they get nailed. I've been very, very pleased with the changes we've made. I'm not trying to say that, but I think this is one place where we can be helpful to people and be a little more clear as you go along. Thank you.
That's a good point. Thank you.
And just to follow up on Ms. Malik, our current practice of renewing the district for 5 years, if they have some of those parcels that need to ultimately be taken out 5 years later, I'm guessing that that's not going to go on forever. And in the case that what you're talking about, they would use up their development right at some point. With the next time they're renewed, they would be taken out without that 5-year delay at some point in the future. I don't know if this one has been already. Jacob's Run, did we already renew that one?
Yeah, we have not yet gotten to the 5-year point with anybody. So none of the districts that have that 5-year limit have come back around again.
No, I mean, have we renewed this one yet for the 5 years?
Yes, we did.
Okay.
Because the phrase grant lots were the ones that brought this onto the radar to begin with, all those subdivision lots that were in the land use program because they were in the ag forestal district.
Right.
Thank you.
Right. Sure. Okay, I just wanted to bring that up, that might not be a forever fix. There's some point where we would stop doing that and they would, have to be rolled back when they came out of the district.
Right. And we're going to have
I
to
see.
make a decision about that at some point when when we've looped through the whole cycle once.
Right.
Okay.
I think Tim raised his hand if I'm reading my screen right.
You are. I've got a question. Basically, it's building on Peter. So it's for Scott, Peter, and Ann. If there's a parcel that a property owner wants to have added that has a conservation easement on it and doesn't have a development right left because of the conservation easement, does that preclude us being able to add it?
I certainly hope not, because the conservation easement has already put it into the category of what we're trying to achieve. So I would love to have it in there, but that's just a from the gut reaction. So.
Well,
We
yes,
need-
that's mine as well. And that's why I'm asking the question, because Scott said if there were no development rights, it couldn't be added.
No.
It's
The law doesn't actually say they can't be added. It says our policy is not to add them, but certainly the board has the freedom to add any parcel they want to add for that or any good reason.
Peter?
Oh, yeah, that's absolutely our rule that we developed within the last 5 years. And, like Ms. Malik said, I mean, those are not the properties that we're concerned about.
I know.
They already are receiving the land use valuations because of their conservation easement. So technically, even though they don't have a development right, I wouldn't object to them being included. They don't necessarily get any benefit out of being included. I'm not sure we've had any properties that want to join that are already in a conservation easement, but if they did, I would not have any objection to it.
Great. Thank you all.
any other discussion?
Get back to the right screen here.
If I don't hear any other discussion or questions, I'll entertain a motion on this addition.
Well, since it's in our ag forestal district that I belong to, I will propose move that we adopt the Maddock Jacobs Run addition.
I will second that.
I'm sorry, I'm having a little audio breakup, so it helps to get the names. Okay.
All right, now that we have a motion on the table, is there any other further discussion? Not hearing any. Scott, I'll call the vote.
You. All right. Let's see, Ms. Sutphin,
Aye.
Ms. Kirchner,
Aye.
Mr. Bear,
Yes.
Mr. Keller,
Aye.
Mr. Goldberg,
Aye.
Mr. Powell,
Aye.
Mr. Lynch,
Aye.
Ms. Malik.
Yes.
Thank you all.
All right. I think we're ready to move on to the review of the Hatton Ag Forest District.
All right, so we have two district reviews tonight. And these are up for their regular 10-year review. First one is Hatton. As you can see on the map here, this district is down in the south part of the county on the James River around Warren. And it's an 860 acre district with 821 acres of important agricultural soils, which is pretty impressive. It's entirely designated as rural. Just makes it appropriate to stay in. We have one withdrawal request, which is the crosshatched parcel you see on there, an 86 acre parcel that would come out. The owners have said that they intend to add back in. They can't do the non-family division that they want to do. Partially, I think, because it's an LLC, so they don't have, it doesn't have family. And that they intend, after they do that 2 acre division, to add the remainder of the parcel back into the district, probably next year. None of the parcels in this district are in the open space tax category, so we don't have to worry about the development right issue. So this would be a 10-year renewal. And staff recommends that the committee recommend renewal of the district for 10 years with the requested withdrawal.
Out of curiosity, do we know where they want to break that lot off? Up on James River Road, I'm assuming?
No, it's actually farther back in. There's a dwelling about halfway between the road and the river already, and I think they want to have the person they're accommodating fairly close to them, so it's going to be away from the road.
Any other questions or comments?
Yes, Scott, is that a typo in the second
Probably.
paragraph where it says Bill?
It is. I apologize. Yeah, that's a copy and paste error on my part. This is, the numbers are right, but the name is wrong.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure you caught it.
Thank you.
And Scott, I just wanted to point out, you might have included this in the fact that there were no open space parcels without development rights. The Scuffletown LLC property that's coming out and then probably going back in is under agriculture. It's not under open space. So I just wanted to say that.
Thanks, Pete.
And they'll still have to deal with the part that they're taking out and putting into a house. They'll have to deal with you on that separately.
Yes, ma'am. They'll have to pay rollback on that. Or if they break it out in a way that causes something not to qualify, that part would be rolled back also.
Peter, for all of us, could you turn it into a hypothetical and explain what you just said, especially for the newer members?
Oh, sure. So the house itself, when you build a house, the home site automatically changes. If it was on an area, let's say on this parcel that was previously agriculture, it automatically becomes non-qualifying, and we roll back the 2 acres on which the house is going to be built. But what I was referring to in the second scenario is if they were to cut an area of the property, this one doesn't look like it had forestry on it, but if they cut an area of property and they no longer have in that new parcel the ability to either have 20 acres of forestry or 5 acres of agriculture that's in production, then that might cause the entire parcel to be rolled back instead of just the home site.
Thank you.
It's either the change in use or the inability to meet those minimums that causes the rollback.
And that's not going to be the case here.
No,
But it's a good thing to understand.
yeah, this is a pretty large parcel, so I doubt they're going to have any problems with that.
Any other discussion? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Tim.
I'll second.
And the motion, just to be clear, the motion is to renew this for 10 years, correct, Scott?
I understood.
Correct. Would you like me to read the staff recommendation and turn it into a motion?
You can do that, or you can just say as recommended by staff.
That's
Yeah,
right.
it'd be helpful if I just read it on the screen. It was right there. Right.
Alrighty. So that was Mr. Keller that moved and Alec seconded. All right.
Mr. Keller, you are recommending that we approve this.
Renewal of the Hatton District for 10 years with the requested withdrawal.
Okay, as staff recommends. Thank you.
Second.
Sorry for causing that confusion, and I will make that motion.
Yeah, Ms. Malik has seconded.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we have a motion on the floor. Any discussion? I will call for the vote then, Scott.
All right. Mr. Powell,
Aye.
Mr. Goldberg,
Aye.
Ms. Malik. Sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
Yes.
Mr. Lynch,
Aye.
Mr. Bear,
Yes.
Ms. Kirchner,
Aye.
Ms. Sutphen,
Yes, thank you.
and Mr. Keller.
Aye.
All righty, thank you.
Wonderful. We're approaching our 7th agenda item, which is the Totier Creek District Review. Scott, when you're ready.
Thank you. All right. Totier Creek District is located just north of the Hatton District that we just talked about. It is much larger at 6,773 acres. Has 5,107 acres of soils that are listed as important for agriculture in the comprehensive plan, and stretches from Esmont and Porters in the west to Keene in the north and down almost to Warren in the south. We have received no withdrawal requests from this district so far. There are, again, no parcels in the open space text category in this district, so the appropriate review period would be 10 years. And staff recommends the committee recommend renewal of the Totier Creek District for 10 years.
Thank you, Scott. Any questions or discussion?
Yeah, me again. I don't know if I've ever asked this or understood this before. How long before it goes before the board for determination decision?
This one, well, this particular bunch will go to the board on September 1st.
Okay.
There's the minimum time just that you can do for commission and board hearings based on the notification requirements. But there's also just the reality of finding free time on the agenda. So it's going to take a little while yet.
Right.
I've always thought that the Ag 4 district process was incredibly time consuming given the fact that so much of this is doing a lot of good, and it used to go with even more review and a lot more difficulty and made it take 5 or 6 months. But yeah, it's largely a matter of getting time on the agendas for the commission and the board.
And it goes to the planning commission before it goes to the board after us, but so between the two, is that correct?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, thank you for that.
Sure.
I think that the visits to the PC and the board are really a celebration as opposed to any kind of interrogation. That's certainly the way.
Ms. Malik,
Yeah,
you suddenly became muted while you were talking.
Oh, I'm sorry. I meant to mute myself after I stopped. No, I was
Oh.
just, I would, at the board level, we celebrate when these things come because it's such a great thing. Tim, you need to move this since it's in your district down there.
Oh, okay. Let's see, we recommend that the committee, well, we recommend renewal of the Collier Creek District for 10 years.
Second.
Was that you that seconded it, Ann?
Yes.
Thank you. All right, we have a motion on the floor to renew the Collier Creek District for 10 years. Any further discussion? Hearing none, when you're ready, Scott, we'll call the vote.
All righty, thank you. Let's see, Ms. Sutphen,
Aye.
Ms. Kirchner,
Aye.
Mr. Bear,
Yes.
Mr. Litch,
Aye.
Mr. Goldberg,
Aye.
Mr. Powell,
Aye.
Ms. Malik,
Yes.
and Mr. Keller.
Aye.
All right, thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you for all the heavy lifting on some great work so far. Moving the agenda on, is there any new business to bring before the committee this evening? Going once, going twice. All right, wonderful. Any old business to bring before the committee this evening?
I don't have any.
I will entertain a motion for adjournment then, and we can get back to
Moved.
enjoy beautiful outdoor weather.
Yeah.
So moved.
All right. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Everybody
thank
have a
you.
good
Thank you all.
evening.
Thanks,
Yes,
Scott.
take care.
Thank you.